week's wraps up in the Heartland as the Roughriders welcome the Tiger Cats to town. Life beginning without Bo Levi Mitchell. It is Jake Dolegala under center, hoping to find instant chemistry with one Kenny Lawler, but it won't be easy. Trevor Harris ready to go, and guess what? He's going to get his star running back and friend A.J. Ouellette back. They're looking to keep pace. In the West, with the Edmonton Elks and move their record to 4-1. It is Sunday night. We are wrapping up Week 6. It is Enoch Mwamba. It's Milt Stiegel, and we welcome the party starter, Darius Pickett from the Toronto Argonauts. We appreciate you being here. I'm sure you're already comfortable. You've had a half-an-hour pregame show under your belt, but here comes the toughest question you've been asked so far, Darius.
Okay.
Is there any shot of the Hamilton Tiger Cats getting away with a win tonight with no Bo Levi Mitchell? And if you say yes, you have to tell me why.
I'm going to say it's a shot. Anything can happen. Sunday night football. I think if they are going to win, they have to find a way to feed Larry Roundtree the ball. In Week 2, I believe he had 23 carries for 124 yards in a win against Winnipeg. And I think the defense has to step up. They're going to have to find ways to take the ball away and score. And special teams, I think, is going to be a big factor as well in this game. Looking at Saskatchewan last week against Ottawa, they had that big return against them for a touchdown. That kind of momentum shift in the game. And again, Woodson got to get going in the special teams. I think that'll be dynamic if they have any chance.
They need to be perfect, basically.
All three
That's
phases,
basically what you're
which is what you
saying.
just told us.
I mean, yeah. Complimentary football, I should say, if they're going to win this game.
They got to play their best football, and I agree with you. Especially as a defensive guy, you got to create turnovers. It's got to come through tonight. You got to get the ball back to Jake Dolegala as many times as possible. But when you look at this offense for Jake, yes, Larry is extremely important. You have to talk about the receivers as well. Keandre Smith is going to be a big outlet for him as well. Curly Gittens Jr., I think those guys are going to be key. Back to you, Kay. You got nothing, Bill?
They don't have a chance. Come on, Bill. It's going to take so much luck for them to win the game. I know they got a great defense. You got great receivers that you won't be able to get the ball to.
No chance.
They're going to focus on lead. They don't have a chance.
What should the spread be? Spread 7.5. What should it be?
70.5.
No.
They're getting paid. They're pros, Mel. Okay. That's crazy.
It's that time, gonna get loud, gonna bring it on and wow that crowd. Just too much, yeah, here we go. Everybody's ready now for the show, 'cause it's game time. It's game time. It's game time. Are you ready? It's game time.
Ray DeVita of Coquitlam, BC. This is your chance to win big thanks to Save On Foods' $1 million touchdown to win. If the kickoff is returned for a touchdown, you could win groceries for a year. If 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns, you could win $1 million. Good luck, Ray. Let's get you to Mosaic. It is Dustin Nielsen and Glenn Suter.
Week 6 on the CFL schedule comes to a close in Regina with the Ticats and Riders ready to turn up the heat at Mosaic Stadium, although I'm not sure that's entirely possible with field level temperatures peaking at close to 55 degrees. Saskatchewan sits at 3-1 after picking up a road win in Ottawa. Last week, the Ticats lose a game and lose Bo Levi Mitchell, which means Jake Dolegala, wait for it, Suits, he's on the hot seat today.
Yeah, he is. That bead of sweat going down my back says it is very hot. But yeah, Jake Dolegala, 2-9 as a starter, has a little bit of experience, a lot of which was when he was right here with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 10 of his starts happened with the Riders. This is start number 12. On the other side of that coin is the veteran in Trevor Harris. This will be game number 200 for Trevor Harris. Start 133.
And his head coach, Corey Mace, perfect as a head coach against Hamilton. He's 4-0 in his career against Hamilton. At home this year, the Riders are 1-1. And on the other side for the Ticats, it's Scott Milanovich. 2-2 on the year, but 1-0 on the road with a win in Winnipeg against the Bombers. It is a steamy one here. I'm looking forward to losing 10 pounds in the booth today. Should be a good one. I can't imagine down on the field. Ticats sideline will be in the sun for the entire game. I guess that's home field advantage for the Riders here at Mosaic as Alex Hale gets ready to kick this one away, and we are underway on the prairies. This will be taken by Wooden right up the middle, bouncing off a couple of tackles. He'll find the 40 on the opening return of the game. And here's a look at Jake Dolegala getting a start for the Ticats for the first time.
Yeah, getting that start with 2 wins to his credit. He does have a little bit of experience. Be interesting to watch early in this game what Corey Mace does defensively against Jake Dolegala. Remember, he's 6'7", great arm talent, can sling it all over the field, but very little experience. Do you full blitz him, try and get him off his spot and rattled a little bit as a young quarterback, or do you play zone? And as our guest in the panel suggested, Adarius Pickett, you play zone because all your DBs are looking at the quarterback and the ball in the air. They can make a play.
We'll see what the Riders decide to do today. That is Jonathan Edouard, who is coming off the field, starting at defensive halfback today for the Riders. So they'll have to make a change here in the early going. Suits, you played in Vegas once when it was 45 degrees. How does that impact what we're going to see today, dude?
The old Christmas tree game, yes, and it was very hard. Yeah, no, it was, when you got to hydrate, and that would be the only rule change I would suggest for this game alone. The FIFA hydration break. We need it today.
7.5 minutes into each quarter. Everybody gets a drink. Here's Dolegala. Uses the far sideline to get it started. Shoots a little high over the head of Carrick Weepall. Let's take a look at Hamilton's starting offense.
Well, both these offensive lines are solid across the board, and both will be blocking for drop-back pocket passers. So they have to be on the same page. Not going to highlight anyone individually. You'd think that Kenny Lawler would be the Hamilton Tiger Cat leading receiver, but right now, at this point, it's Keandre Smith. Partly because of the attention Lawler's getting, but also a great start for Smith.
Smith had 7 catches for 90 yards last week. Dolegala, second and long, stays in the pocket, finds Kenny Lawler. Lawler, though, wrapped up immediately after a short pickup. There's DeMarcus Fields making the tackle. Will be a quick 2 and out here for the Ticats to get this thing started at Mosaic.
Yeah, for a guy, when you go back to last year, that is just, one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league, to have sort of a pedestrian start like he has to the season says 2 things. One, he's getting more attention, so a little double team, things like that. The other is, Bo Levi Mitchell, before his injury, was going with the football where the defense dictated, and that meant Keandre Smith became the #1 target.
76 games in a row with a catch for Kenny Lawler. Check that box early in this one. Here's Sexton on the return. Took one back last week. Bounces off a tackle here, and now he'll find the 30. The 40, trying to get around the kicker. And the tackle is made by Mitch McCarthy, but that's a great start for Matthew Sexton.
Well, and can I add, in his big return for a touchdown in his very first game in the Canadian Football League in Ottawa, that for Mitch McCarthy, a better effort.
Noah Gitman's watching going, oh no.
A great second effort just to create. Looked like it was a field return. The call on the field.
Corey May spoke very highly of him to us earlier this week. Says he likes him as a receiver as well. Here's Harris. He'll start the game with a completion, and that's going to be tackle broken, pushed ahead. First down, Schaefer Baker. That's how you get it started for Trevor Harris.
So 200th game for the veteran. Now, that's not starts. This is start 133 for Trevor Harris. He's 72, 58, and 2 in his career. But that completion percentage, #1 in the Canadian Football League right now. And if you look at the top 10 receivers or quarterbacks all time, he's also #1 in completion percentage.
Only 4 active players over with more games than Trevor Harris: Paredes, White, Stanley Bryant, and Bo Levi Mitchell, who's not playing in this one. They'll hand it off right on the ground, right up the middle. A.J. Ouellette, welcome back to Mosaic for A.J. Ouellette after missing some time.
Yeah, Connolly did a nice job for Saskatchewan in replacing Ouellette, but he brings a couple of things. One is the run that you just saw and how well he carries the football. The other is protections for Trevor Harris. And then there's the enthusiastic get up and let's get the guys going that you see after this as he walks back to the huddle, getting everybody fired up.
Almost had enough for a first down. Second and just a couple of inches here. Should be easy piece of work. for Tommy Stevens. He's going to bounce it out to the right, and he'll push it ahead. Let's take a look at the Saskatchewan starting offense tonight.
Again, up front, solid group. This is a group, the starters that they wanted coming out of training camp, and they're back together. Going to have to be real solid up front. Give Trevor Harris the time to throw the football. The receiving core, they got 3 guys in the top 10. Keyshawn Johnson is one of them, and A.J. Ouellette returns to the lineup for this game.
Fresh set of downs on the Ticat 40 for Trevor Harris. 3 options out to his short side right. That's where he's going to look. That's where he wants to throw, and that's where he will throw. And he's got another completion against this Hamilton Tiger Cats defense. Let's take a look at them.
Julian Hauser up front, the defensive line, just 1 sack away from tying the league from Jake Serezna, with Jake Serezna. Whit McManus, their leader, is back in the middle of that defense. Was back last week. This is his 2nd game coming off injury. And you go back to the secondary, Destin Talbert has been hot of late. I think he's an underrated halfback in the Canadian Football League in year 3, and very versatile, can play a lot of different positions.
Game 100 for McManus in the middle of this defense. 2nd and 2. Stevens, the keeper, pushing it ahead. Needed the 30 for the first down. He's right there. If he doesn't have it, he'll be staying out there to push this thing ahead. It'll be an inch or 2. But he does have it, and it'll be a first down for the Riders as they march on. The Ticats have not trailed by more than 3 points in a game all season. The Riders trying to change that with a touchdown on this opening drive. First possession of the game for them. Back to A.J. Ouellette. Patiently finds a hole and pushes it ahead for a pickup of about 3.5 yards on first down.
Yeah, when you take a look at his production last year and the 1,000-yard season, that speaks for itself. But I think he brings more than just the numbers to this lineup. He brings that leadership, but he's also besties with Trevor Harris. I mean, they are best buddies.
2 peas in a pod.
Oh, they are. And you know when you have that guy that's got your back your whole life? That's those 2 guys, and you just feel like you can conquer anything.
2nd and 7. Harris looking around. Down the field, Keyshawn Johnson a little too high, and he couldn't haul it in. First incompletion of the game for Trevor, and it will be a field goal attempt for the Riders.
Yeah, rolling start for Keyshawn Johnson to try and get him involved early. Why not? He's red hot. 100-yard game. Coming off their last game. Just a little bit of an overthrow.
Hale 9 for 11 on the year. 9 for 9 from inside 40. That's where this one will be. 35 yards. It is up, and he misses it. And that'll be taken in the end zone by Wooden. And he'll take a knee. Riders lead 1-0. Dola Gala will have the ball when we return to Mosaic. Jake Dolagala doesn't have a lot of experience in the league, but most of the experience he has was right here in Regina.
Yeah, the 10 games that he started here in Regina for an injured Trevor Harris at the time. But, you know, when I think about the quarterback rooms that Jake has been in over his career now and in this journey, one has been Bo Levi Mitchell that he's learned from. Trevor Harris is another that he's learned from. Zach Collaros briefly. And he also mentioned when we talked to him this week, Cody Fajardo.
Yep.
All 3 of those guys, they are unselfish players that will help the young quarterbacks along.
Dolagala throwing here, a little high, but no problem. That's hauled in by Keandre Smith. Let's take a look at Saskatchewan's starting defense today.
Well, the veteran up front, Mike Rose, already has a couple of sacks on the board. We'll take a look at him against this real solid Hamilton offensive line. In the linebacking core, you know, Antoine Brooks is playing great, but so is Josh Woods, and he's contributing on special teams as well. Always love that when a player can start on defense and also cover kicks. And how about Jackson Ford's play over the last couple of weeks? That play on 3rd down in Ottawa, a big one.
We were talking talking about this as we prep for this game, who would handle short yardage duties, and Dolegala stays in there to push this ball ahead for the Ticats. So he might be in double duty today.
He was the short yardage quarterback when Bo was healthy. And we, of course, wish Bo Levi Mitchell a real quick recovery and hope to see him back on the field very soon.
You mentioned that when talking about big challenge against this Hamilton offensive line. They've allowed only 4 sacks all season. That's third best in the Canadian Football League. 1st and 10 from the Hamilton 51 for Dolegala. This time they'll hand it off right up the middle. And Roundtree runs in to a wall known as Jameer Thurin.
That one single point in the new rule change, and I think coaches and special team coaches have been working with this throughout the season, that Isaiah Wooden could have let that ball hit on the missed field goal by the Riders and let it go by, not give up a single, and still get the ball on the 40. See if that is a factor late in the fourth.
Keep that in mind as we work our way through this one. 2nd and 8 for Dolegala. Riders 7-4. Dolegala bouncing around the pocket. He's in trouble. Can he emerge? No, taken down. James Vaughters got his 3rd sack of the campaign.
Well, the league leader is Serezna in Winnipeg, so there's a couple of guys in this game that are trying to catch him and try to share that lead first. One more for Vaughters, and he gets there. Nothing fancy from a blitz perspective, but 4-man pressure got home.
Low snap here. McCarthy handles it. Now he'll drive a low kick away. Sexton watches it. It bounces at the 10. And that one is going to bounce all the way into the end zone.
Is it going to go out?
Stop in the corner. And he will take a knee as well. We're tied in 1 at Mosaic.
Both goalies playing well tonight.
Rouge et Rouge. Trevor Harris will have the ball when we return. A 3-1 start to the season for the Riders, and a lot of that has to do with their quarterback, Trevor Harris.
Well, first of all, over 6,000 yards, that's incredible. But that touchdown interception ratio, that is off the hook. And, if he starts all 18 games and goes 14 over 300 yards, I guess my question is, when is he going to be included in the early MOP discussions? Justin Rankin, yes, for sure. Davis Alexander, yes, for sure. Got to get him in the discussion.
They'll hand it off this time. And A.J. Ouellette is wrapped up right up the middle.
I mean, for that reason alone, and the touchdown to interception ratio pace that he's on, to be in single digits in interceptions and up to 45 touchdown throws. And I mentioned that completion percentage off the top because the only one that's close in the top 10 all-time quarterback list is Ricky Ray, which is a guy that he sort of models his game after in a little in the accuracy department for sure.
They'll need 6 more yards here. Ticats look like they jumped Harris to the 50. Schaefer Baker. McManus is there to grab him. Working alongside Zamari Walton.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Ticats look like they jumped on the hard count there. And
offside. Hamilton number 91. Penalties decline. First down.
It's been consistent for Trevor Harris so far. He's got multiple touchdowns in every game so far this season as well.
Miles Fox just jumps into that neutral zone, doesn't get back. Heads up play by Logan Ferland to snap it right at that time, whether it's the right snap count or not. If a defender's in the neutral zone and you snap the ball, it's the offside and the free 5 yards.
Rhinos will work from their own 51 in a game that's tied at 1. Harris fakes the handoff, looks around, and he's got a first down close to the Ticat 45 as he gets it into the hands of Keyshawn Johnson. Johnson wasn't happy with the tackle, was he?
Well, he wasn't happy with the second one. I think he was okay on the first one, and that was Katsatonis from the safety spot who steps up and makes the hit as he's catching it. But this one, it looked like Braxton Hill there got away with a late hit. There's no flag on the field, but there's no question that Keyshawn Johnson was down. He thought, wait a minute. I'll let that one go.
Harris already with completions to Schaefer, Baker, Johnson, and Emelis. And now A.J. Ouellette wrapped up and taken down. Can't be easy to have McManus on your back like that.
Yeah, it's good to have for Hamilton to have him back in the middle leading that group, because they are much better with that leadership there. Watch the fake by Trevor Harris here. This is a little thing. It's a little detail, but he fakes that he's still holding the ball. And if that holds Wynton McManus for a half step, A.J. Ouellette gets an extra yard. That's the inches that are involved in Canadian football.
Third tackle of the game already for McManus. 2nd and 6 for Harris. Time in the pocket. Like that one might have been deflected as it was thrown. Comes up mighty short, and it'll be another field goal attempt for the Riders. Actually, it'll be a punt. They're going to bring out Chapman to kick this away instead of going for the 48-yard field goal attempt.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this heat would affect the ball flight on a field goal, but this is right in that bubble area and coming off the miss. And play for field position instead of going for the 3.
Hale hasn't attempted one from outside of 50 yet this year. Look at this kid trying to drop it right in the corner.
Awesome.
And he steps out of bounds. Well done, Oscar Chapman. Ticats will be backed up when we return to Mosaic on a hot and sweaty day in Regina. Well, we talked about Dolegala being a member of the Riders. Here he is on Labor Day against Winnipeg. 326 yards, by far the highlight of his Riders career. And it was highlighted after by an interview that went viral with our very own Britt Dort, who's just slightly shorter than the 6'7" Jake Dolegala, and she stands by now.
Yeah, and Dustin, he actually mentioned this week that picture still gets brought up almost every season, more than that game does, which I don't overly understand. Dolegala also pointing to his time in Saskatchewan, talking about how much that helped him grow as a quarterback. Suits, you brought it up, being behind guys like Cody Fajardo, Trevor Harris, and now he said Bo Levi Mitchell. He's grown in confidence. He says, I feel way more in command of my offense. You know, he said it's one of the hardest offenses he actually has ever been a part of in professional football. Mitchell, very involved with him this week with Dolegala. He was helping him out, getting ready for this game. Calls them both gunslingers. And Nielsen, I will say, being on that step ladder today, it was nice to feel what it's like to kind of be you.
Okay, fair enough. I was going to say, Britt is adamantly telling us she's 5'4.5". But this is why we are looking at Dolegala today, because of this tackle from Sorrento, which was clean, but unfortunate for Bo.
Yeah, broken ankle, went in for surgery immediately, and will be out for some time. We wish for a speedy recovery for Bo Levi Mitchell.
And he has to be heavily involved.
And he will be. He'll be very important to help Jake Dolegala.
2nd and 9 for Dolegala here in his own end zone, looking around. And he has a completion, but it's not going to go anywhere as he found his running back, Roundtree, and he was gobbled up immediately.
And I think 5'4" is a bit of a stretch for Britt.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, you know, on the TV truck doorway, we have the markings for Britt, just to, you know, on the doorway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
that's where they are.
She's getting a little closer. And in the pregame show, if you missed it, she got a little bit of a step ladder to help her out. That's Dolegala interview.
Good field position looming here late in the first quarter for the Riders as Sexton stands on the Mosaic logo at midfield. Takes it at the 45. Can he find a hole? Cuts it back. Now tries to kick it out. He's got the 50. He's got the 40 on the sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds. This guy is dangerous.
Yes, he is.
Matthew Sexton putting the league on notice last week was not a fluke. Well, let's flash it back to last week. First start for Matthew Sexton, and he did this.
Very first game for Matthew Sexton. Down the sideline on a huge punt return, and we'll get to that effort in a second. But this guy is a keeper. Again, a couple of over 50-yard returns here today. One where he was bottled up and opening this game and got outside.
What's up, Mo? I love you.
He is a keeper, and he is putting kickers on notice. You better bow your neck and make a tackle, because
don't let him slip by. Could be trouble. Great field position. This drive starts in the Hamilton 38. They're going to go on the ground again. And they will bottle up Ouellette just short of the 35, or right close to the Ticat 35.
Now, that game in Ottawa, the offense for the Saskatchewan Roughriders were sort of off kilter a little bit. They weren't quite in sync like we've seen them the first 3 weeks of the season. And he really won that game on special teams. So Coach Mueller is going to have to try and get a little bit of a rhythm going here for Trevor Harris. Sometimes to do that, you get the short game, bubble screens, crossers, things like that.
Harris looks over the middle, pressured, and he's going to be taken down as the Ticats defense gets there. And was it Winton McManus? Have yourself a day. He's been everywhere here in the opening quarter.
He's lining up like he's going to show blitz. You see how he turns his hips like he might drop, and then he says, no, I'm actually coming straight through the A-gap, which is between the center and the guard, and he gets home, not counted, and wants everybody to know who did it. That was me, McManus. That's my name right on the back there.
Hauser involved as well on that one. And once again, there'll be another short punt. This one will hang up there, and bounce into the end zone. And will he get through the end zone? It does. Chapman was trying to work a little bit of magic like he had earlier in this one. And after the first, we're tied at 1 at Mosaic in Regina as we wrap up week 6 CFL and TSN. First quarter is in the books, and it's Ticats 1, Riders 1. And we've been talking, it's a hot one here in Regina today. How much do you think that impacts the guys when we see this score 1-1?
Well, clearly it's influencing the offenses in a negative way. Are you okay?
Do you need me to dab your sweats?
Are you okay? No, it's okay. Yeah, I can feel it running down the back. No, but it does. I mean, first of all, you got to keep the sweat off your hands if you're a receiver or quarterback or whatever. And it's also about concentration. It's just when you get, you're getting and you're looking at that kind of temperature, and we're getting ready to just have brunch.
See how long that takes. We'll keep eyes on that. Looked like it was starting to cool down a bit. I think it moved down to 52. It was 55 at kickoff on that far sideline.
So Dolagala is not playing with a glove on his throwing arm. It's just passing hand.
They'll give it to Roundtree, trying to find an edge, and it's just not there. Marcus Sales was waiting for him.
So you have to deal with the sweat, and the sweat will be running down your hands and your quarterback, and you're trying to keep it dry. Then you want to stay hydrated along the sideline. Joked about the hydration break, but they got to stay hydrated. And if they haven't yesterday and the day before, which both teams would make sure they did, it'll catch up to them right now. Those big guys might lose 15, 20 pounds today.
2nd and 9 for Dolagala. Deep drop. Deep throw right over the middle, bouncing around. And it's incomplete. Looking in the direction of Keandre Smith. So we would say advantage defense today then with the Heat.
Well, yeah, I mean, so far that's the way it looks like. You got Lawler out there to try and distract and pull some coverage with him. And then DeAndre Smith with a little double move. The ball just high. I mean, it's simple as that. You could see the arm strength. It was a flick of the wrist to get it there. It was just off target.
Sexton takes this one cleanly. Good burst ahead, takes it out just beyond the 35.
So I mentioned off the top that there's 4 of the top 10 receivers in the league in this game. 3 of them with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I'll just add 2 are Canadian, but
This is projected, right?
this is projected numbers for the 3 top receivers for the Riders in their core. Those are big numbers. Keyshawn's been the hottest of late. 3 of his 4 games this year over 100 yards. Sam Emlis good to break out at any time. I mean, serious deep threat.
Johnson has touchdowns 3 games in a row. And he had a big one last week. 9 catches on 10 targets for 137 yards and a touchdown out in Ottawa.
Yeah, second in the CFL to Tyson Philpott coming into the weekend. And you know, he's going to get targeted a ton. He knows that. But he's earning that.
Well, and he did it last year, too. He had a phenomenal year last year. He's targeted at least 8 times in every game so far. On the ground again, A.J. Ouellette pushing it ahead. And that'll be a first down for the Riders. It was funny because Keyshawn Johnson had a bit of a slow start, and then Emlis got banged up in a game and left. It was here at home on a Friday night football game. And then it was all of a sudden like Trevor saying, oh, yeah, I got Keyshawn Johnson still. And he's just been on fire ever since.
Yeah, and if the Hamilton Tiger Cats decide defensively to roll the coverage towards him or play a little 2-man, which is man-to-man underneath with all the receivers and 2 deep defenders to help out on any deep throws, if they decide to go in that kind of look, then any one of the other receivers, Keon Schaefer-Baker, Emlis, are all good.
Back to A.J. Ouellette. He'll find his way up to midfield. That's his 7th carry of the ball game. He's toting the rock early in this one.
How about Jamarcus Hardrick that's going to come around and make a key block at the point of attack here. Big number 52. Follow him out there. Watch this. Yeah, oh yeah. Drive block, keep it going. And A.J. Ouellette, he sees 52 grading the road in front of him. He's good with that.
Imagine being Braxton Hill. Hardrick coming around the corner.
You got to create a pile. That's what we used to say.
On the ground again. A.J. Ouellette looks like it's going to be 3rd and a yard. And Tommy Stevens instantly out onto the field.
So Braxton Hill on that last one, you saw the kick-out block. Here's the block again. And Braxton Hill's going, oh, okay, I'm just going to create a pile right here. Now, on the run block, Hardrick's taking a little liberty there.
What are you supposed to do if you're him? Like,
you create a pile. Okay. You honestly do. You come in, you get low, you pop with your shoulder, and then create a pile right there. Hope that he falls on top of you, and then A.J. Ouellette has to find another way to get around there.
So you're just blocking it up using his body. There's Stevens. He pushes it ahead. That'll be a first down for Saskatchewan, and they'll continue this drive.
And number 1 rule in that regard, too, try not to get locked up. So scrape quickly, read and scrape quickly as a linebacker so you don't get engaged with Hardrick.
But if you can't, then you pile.
Then you make a pile. Exactly. Then short yardage.
Hardrick following up his outstanding season last year.
Trying to gasp for some air right now.
Quick hitter, Schaefer-Baker, first down. Saskatchewan takes it inside the 40. Trevor Harris, 6 of 8 to start this game. They ran the ball 8 times with A.J. Ouellette, thrown it 8 times with Trevor Harris.
Yeah, the balance is there. And, you know, I think that when you think about the Ottawa game for Saskatchewan offensively, wasn't their best game. Weren't in sync throughout the game. They won that game in special teams and defense. But that's how you get that back, the rhythm back, with balance.
Harris throwing again. Keyshawn Johnson tries to reverse it, but he's wrapped up. Good tackle on the far side of the field, but it'll be Second and very manageable, and it'll be a yard, actually, so Stevens will chop back out here.
Our talk with Corey Mace this week, we talked about Tommy Stevens a little bit, and he used the word, rather than short yardage quarterback, he used the word weapon. He's a different offensive weapon for us. And we've seen Tommy Stevens come on, like in the Ottawa game, with a lead and kill the clock with basically a run offense.
There's even the odd time after one of these plays, they'll leave him out there and they'll run something unique. And he pushes ahead. It's another first down. Harris will walk back out. Is pretty efficient drive here from the Riders.
Well, you know how athletic he is. I mean, you know, remember, this was a 7th-round NFL draft pick with the Saints, Tommy Stevens. And they made him a tight end when they brought him to camp. Converted him to a tight end. And he was fine with that. And so there's a lot of different things you could use Tommy Stevens in. And I'm sure as this season goes on, Mark Mueller up there will... He'll figure out some different ways to use him.
Back to A.J. Oletz. Hasn't really found a big hole so far today, but he's grinding out 3, 4, 5 yards per carry. Do you want to give a quick shout out to Quali Conley, who filled in while he was gone?
Yeah.
He averaged 5.4 yards per carry, and when we chatted with his coach earlier in the week, he seemed pretty impressed by what they got from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I asked Corey Mace if we could see both in the lineup. You know, both are Americans, so that's one thing. You have to deal with the ratio there, but he said not for this game. In fact, there's really not a backup tailback on the roster for this game for Saskatchewan. A.J. Olet's the only one. Now, they do have Albert Awachi dressed, can play a fullback in sort of a blocking role.
Throwing down for Harris, looking for Keyshawn Johnson. And he was tied up. Fans wanted a flag, not going to get it. He was working against Caleb Hayes.
But you notice how the heat is affecting these guys when you see how they walk back to the huddle. So there's a little bit of a double move that was not, no purchase made there.
Hayes didn't fight, did he?
No purchase made. But when they walk back to the huddle, it was like a slow pace in this heat.
Alex Hale, 32-yard attempt, and that one is good after he missed earlier in the game. So just under 7 minutes left in the first half. The Riders with a 4-1 lead. Time to get that guy going. Kenny Lawler, one of the best to do it. Kenny Lawler has been one of the better receivers in this league for a long, long time, but he's been at the top of the list since the beginning of last season. Look at this.
Yeah, first in every category, and that's why, you know, you raise an eyebrow when you see he's only had 220 yards receiving in their first 4 games of the season. But again, Keandre Smith picking up a lot of those targets when the coverage has been rolled to Kenny Lawler. We'll see if Dolegala wants to throw a few up. Those 50-50 balls.
Last year he had 483 yards in the first 4 games. And there's a flag here right after the snap.
Interesting, though, the other things.
Out for number 61. 5-yard penalty remains.
That's Dumoulin Duguay.
Dumoulin Duguay with the penalty. But the other things that Kenny Lawler does, and one of them, as good as any receiver in the league, is blocking and in the run game. I mean, he is a lead by example guy when it comes to finding someone to block when Roundtree's got the ball in his hands, or any one of the running backs. And he also addressed the entire team this week about Jake Dolegala starting and saying, we ought to raise our game. Let's make this guy look great out there.
First and 15 for Dolegala here. And they'll hand it off. Roundtree pushing it ahead. Gets the penalty yardage back. And it'll be second and about 10 for the Ticats on their side of the field.
Case in point. Roundtree gets the ball. Let's sit back and watch little 89 go to work here. He's got to make a block now. And boom, right there. Not letting my guy in there. That's noticed on film in a big way.
Dolegala needs to find 10 more. Riders are going to bring a little bit of heat. Comes free. They drop it off. Roundtree on a screen. Pushing it ahead. Jr. First time we've mentioned his name today. That's the biggest play Hamilton's had so far.
Biggest play and luckiest for Hamilton, too, in a lot of ways, because the play is designed to anticipate that kind of pressure, and then Dolegala keeps retreating, but there is the hit that jarred it loose. Tavon Campbell had a shot at it and missed it, and Giddens Jr. comes up with it. Again, blocking down the field is one of the reasons Tavon Campbell just couldn't get there in time.
Looked like Campbell was thinking picking it up and turning
Scoop and
around
score,
to go score. Didn't grab it before he turned, and Giddens saves the day. First and 10 from the Rider 53. Dolegala with the time, and that one behind Keandre Smith. Looked like it was Thurman, I believe, who had a pretty good look at that one. Oh, there's a flag back behind Dolegala as well. I believe this is going to be a roughing the passer call.
Yeah, that instant mute button in the entire stadium would suggest that it's from Saskatchewan, but let's take a look after the throw.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Saskatchewan number 98. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Didn't have to pull him down as he was going down.
You know, I think the officials are looking at it and saying, could he have let go when he saw the ball thrown? Question is, could he see the ball being thrown? Borderline, anyway. Let's put it that way.
Back on the ground, up the middle, short pickup. They've kept Roundtree contained so far today. 4 carries for about 12 yards, and that's it.
The thing about Dolegala I've noticed is that at times in the pocket he hasn't settled his feet. He's hopping back there and has missed a couple of throws high. It's just a matter of settling in, plant those feet, take that confident step forward, not overstriding, but that confident step and letting it go.
Generally, you would think he would throw a high ball because he's so tall as well, right? So got to bring it down a little bit. This one's over the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended target. And that will set up a 3rd and 7 and a field goal attempt here for Legio.
So this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, Jake Dolegala's got to settle in here. Again, real inexperienced, has a few starts under his belt, but see hop, and then kind of throw from leaning away from that pressure. Now, part of it is because of the pressure. When the pocket starts collapsing, any quarterback is going to get a little jumpy back there.
Looked like the throw came mid-hop, didn't it?
Yeah, but kind of hopping and not settling his feet.
42-yard attempt for Legio to tie this game at 4. And he'll sneak it in. And the Ticats get some points from this drive. And back in the lineup healthy. Local legend here in Regina, A.J. Ouellette. More on him when we return. Well, after missing a couple of games, A.J. Ouellette has returned to the lineup for the Riders. For more on this, let's send it down to Britt Doyle.
And Dustin, this week at practice, you could feel his excitement. His teammate Mike Rose actually calling him out for smiling too much. He said, I can't help it. I just love this game. I love playing football. Now, he is so happy to be back out there after you mentioned 2 games he missed. He talked about that injury that happened, and he said it actually wasn't as bad as what it looked, and I probably could have came back into that game, but we knew I should have taken some rest. Harris, of course, mentioned how excited he is to have him back, and you guys know how much football Trevor Harris has played. He quoted this week saying Ouellette is one of his favorite teammates of all time.
They do have a great connection, don't they, Suits?
Yeah, and you just feel that much more comfortable when you have your buddy with you. I mean, that doesn't just apply to football. It applies to life. When you have that great friend that has got your back no matter what, you just feel that much more confident, even for veteran players like Trevor. So, yeah, absolutely.
4th catch of the game for Schaefer Baker. He's got all 4 balls thrown in his direction. 49 yards, 1st and 10. A.J. Ouellette again. He tripped up after he gets about 3 yards on that first down carry. That's his 10th of the game. So steady diet of A.J. Ouellette as he returns to the lineup. We are tied at 4 on a hot day in Regina. As the egg says, nothing's happening.
Coming up at half, we give credit to Hamilton's defense. A little bit of luck. We've got all the Week 6 highlights. Are you ever going to put that down, Adarius?
You know me, I'm just getting the party started.
Oh, my.
Gotta keep it lit.
Goodness.
He's taking over my chair, too.
Oh, my goodness.
Got to buy into the brand, right? You got to fully commit. Ticats defense, actually best defense in the league. They only allowed 24.5 points per game, and they've been hanging in there against Trevor Harris so far today. Now he'll drop it off to Emilus, and Emilus will have a first down as he came across the defense.
This is the type of offense that mentioned Coach Mueller would go to get a little bit of a rhythm before the end of the half and maybe carry it into the second half. Is crossing routes, bubble screens, quick throws, start to build that confidence offensively that the offense is rolling, and then you strike deep.
The work from the Hamilton 40. It's Ouellette again. And he is wrapped up quickly. But just over 2.5 to go in the first half.
Interesting you mentioned the defense, though. The Hamilton defense is ranked #1. Done a nice job points allowed wise, giving up field goals, not touchdowns, and are first in the league in overall points allowed, and get Wynton McMahon is one of the best leaders on defense in the game back for the last 2. Last week and now this week.
Have created just 4 turnovers, though. Riders only 3. Harris gets it to Keyshawn Johnson. That's a first down inside the 30. And Saskatchewan officially in business now here offensively.
Let's take a good look at Keyshawn Johnson in his office. See that look, how he leans towards the corner or the out route and then just sits down. Trevor Harris looks off. Looks like he looked wide to Emilus there and then came right back to number 3. There's Ryan Baker making the tackle, who fills in for McManus at times.
Johnson leads the team in catches, targets, and yards so far this season. Now here's A.J. Ouellette finding a hole this time. They'll take it down inside the 10 before they stop him. That's his biggest carry of the game.
Well, this play's been working for him, so why not go back to it? Bring Jamarcus Hardrick to lead it around from the right tackle spot. That sets up the blocking. Little kick out there again on Braxton Hill, it looked like. And away A.J. Ouellette goes. Actually, it was Ryan Baker who steps in and takes that. Tried to create a pile like we talked about. It just wasn't a big enough pile.
So it'll be first and goal right from that Ticat 10. Trevor throwing, end zone, touchdown, Riders, as he finds Emilus wide open in the end zone.
Nice protection this time. 45 on the play action is going to freeze that defensive line just long enough to give Trevor Harris the throwing lane. Emilus sitting right there just past the goal line.
Hale knocks another one through, and the Riders lead 11-4 for the first time this season. The Ticats trail by more than 3 points because of a 7-play, 70-yard drive that ends in the waiting arms of Emilus. Welcome back to Regina. We're Samuel Emlis has his team leading 4th touchdown of the season.
Watch how this play action fake is going to affect the linebacker here in Ryan Baker. He's got to widen and drop underneath this throw to Emlis, who is this wide receiver out here. Now he's going to run that curl. Now watch how he goes shallow instead of getting depth into that throwing lane. If Ryan Baker drops where he's supposed to in that zone look, he's in the throwing lane and maybe Emlis doesn't get there. But the play action held him in the linebacking corner.
Mitchell on the return, took it just inside the 10, and now he finds a little bit of space. How's this for an answer? Myron Mitchell, the midfield. They'll try to track him down. He gets the 50, now the 40, an instant field position. Huge bounce back for Myron Mitchell and the Ticats special teams.
Well, there's often 2 returners back there. Isaiah Wooden is the guy we're used to talking about when he gets the ball in his hands. But this time he's going to make the block. Number 11 on this return. He's coming up to be the lead blocker. And there's the key one right there. You make that block, you give your returner time to now hit that next level and then find a hole to break outside. And then it's a foot race.
Excellent field position for Dolegala, trying to spark this offense. A word from the Rider 33. Looks to his left, wants to go deep. He will go deep, but it's incomplete. Looking in the direction of Kenny Lawler. Lawler had a catch very early in this game, but has not had one since.
Yeah, and they've got the one-on-one with Lawler by himself into the boundary. So this is just it doesn't matter if the Riders go to a zone look or a man look. It becomes man when Lawler gets in the zone of Edouard there. But he was well covered and the ball overthrown again. That's about the 4th overthrow from Dolegala.
Just 5 of 9 for 34 yards. It'll be an empty set here. He's got 4 receivers out to his wide side right. 2 more over to the left. Looks over the middle. He's going to throw over the middle. And he's got Mitchell. Mitchell turns, pushes it ahead. And a good decision there by Mitchell to pick up that first down as he just turned right into 2 Riders and got the yards.
It really was. And that's exactly what it was. Dolegala hitting that underneath crossing route and get a completion. And this decision right here, if he keeps going wide, he probably gets tackled about 2 yards short of the first down marker, but putting the brakes on and heading upfield.
He's inches short, just inches. And he'll go very close.
What an answer already, though, starting with the good return.
I think Milanovic is wondering why it's just not a first down already. It's 3rd and an inch. Any forward progress would be enough here. Dolegala pushes it ahead. Wasn't much, but he really didn't need anything. And that'll be enough for a first down. 67 seconds on the clock here in the first half.
So we've seen a couple of attempts by Dolegala to get to Kenny Lawler. He made the first catch of this game for Hamilton and hasn't had one since. But he's been targeted a couple times. This is his end of the field, too. Those one-on-one catches in the end zone.
Kenny Lawler at the bottom of your screen there. I'll have 2 Riders watch him closely. Dolegala has time, uses the far sideline, and that is hauled in by Carrick Wheatfall.
You mentioned it.
Short.
You mentioned it, Dustin. I mean, you go to Kenny Lawler. This is his end of the field. Look at what the Riders are doing. One here, one over the top. So the first defender is up there to try and disrupt the route, try and get some hands on him. Missed him, but tried to. And then you got a deep player. He still got open. Dolegala went the other way.
Did he? Second and short. Big boys back on the field for the Ticats. And Dolegala got driven back, but had enough initially for the Ticat first down. 6'7", 242 pounds. He used all of it that time to pick up the first down for Hamilton. Now, this would be big if they're able to punch one in here. Tie this game up at the half. On the road at Mosaic. The work from the Rider 11. Dolegala, a ton of time, gets it away, incomplete. Was looking for Keandre Smith, but the Riders defended it well. Josh Woods in the mix.
Boy, he really wanted to go to Kenny Lawler, who was lined up by himself on the right side of the formation. Lawler's down here again. Now they're going to bring Roundtree out of the backfield, but Lawler's down here, and Dolegala wanted to go to him. But again, two defenders making sure they know exactly where Lawler runs. Forced a late throw to Keandre Smith on the backside. That's a second or third read right there, and that's broken up.
At the time, couldn't find a target. 2nd and 10. Saskatchewan sends 4. Dolegala looking for Lawler, and it's broken up. Campbell. Great job getting a hand on that one.
That's 3 plays in a row that it's clear that Dolegala wants to get the ball out to Kenny Lawler. And this time he sees he's got press, but he's got a second receiver in here that may be able to influence that deep player. And in fact, he does. This is a catch that Lawler has made many, many times, but I think Tavon Campbell got his hands on it.
Must have got a piece of it.
Yeah, he got a piece
Kenny's
on it.
hands too, though. That's one that Kenny would probably say, oh, I could have had that.
Yeah, but I think Tavon Campbell got a hand on it.
So instead of a major, it'll be a 19-yard attempt, a chip shot for Leggio, and he puts it home. And the Ticats trail the Riders by 4 with 24 seconds left in the first half.
Last year, all-Canadian, all-CFL, Tavon Campbell, who when he gets his hands on the ball, he usually takes it to the house. He's famous for the pick 6, but does he get his hands on this going up to elevate, high point it? Yep, he tipped it. Because you know Kenny Lawler's made that one in his sleep.
Kenny, if that wasn't deflected, Kenny's catching it.
He's catching
his
it.
eyes closed.
Absolutely. Tavon Campbell, even the DBs are breathing hard in this heat. Woo!
Riders with a lead, 1-1 at home so far this season. And that one misses Johnson. First time he's been targeted in this game, and it falls incomplete.
The tougher throw than it looks. It really is. When that receiver or back comes out and it's like a little flare out there.
Just because it's flat?
Well, because the quarterback can only see the narrow side of the shoulder pad. It's not like a receiver coming back. You see both numbers and you put it between them. It's a tougher throw to try and get it right where you need it so he can lead the guy and he can keep his eyes upfield.
Trevor has 11 completions, all of them to Schaefer, Baker, Emelis, and Keyshawn Johnson. Now they'll go on the ground here late in the half.
But I'm watching guys come back to the huddle. And, you know, we talked about it quite a bit in this first half. And we can drop it. Because at the end of the day, it's about concentration. But they're really fighting it, trying to get back to the huddle. Hands on the hips is when you start to see, trying to grab oxygen and trying to recover. It takes a little bit longer to get back there.
Same for both teams, though.
Absolutely, and it's about concentration. You have to concentrate more when it's raining. You have to concentrate more when it's super cold. Ball protection, and the same can be said about heat.
Trevor Harris will take a knee, and that'll do it for our first half here at Mosaic in Regina. It's the Riders with an 11-7 lead over the Ticats as Saskatchewan looks to go to 4-1 on the season. Hamilton has actually led at half in all 4 of their games so far. This is the first time they've trailed at the half all season long. It's also the first time they've had to play without Bo Levi Mitchell. Dolegala 7 of 13 for 53 yards. On the other side, Trevor Harris 11 of 15 for 116 yards, but he's got this guy back in A.J. Ouellette. He's got 13 attempts for 69 yards, on pace for about 135, 140 in this game.
Yeah, that balance in the offense has been huge.
A.J. Ouellette is standing by with Britt Dorton.
AJ, we know how excited you were to get back out here tonight in this game. But how has your offensive line played a role in the impact you've been able to make in that first half?
They're moving bodies right now. They're playing the way we want to, and we just got to keep doing that in the second half.
Lower scoring ball game. Obviously, the heat is playing a role. What is important in that second half in order to try to avoid some of that fatigue?
We got to crank the heat up. It ain't hot enough out here.
Thanks for this one, AJ.
Thank you.
All right, Kate, you heard it from him. We got to crank the heat up.
Brent, that's all we do is crank the heat up in the CFL on TSN. AJ Ouellette must be nice for him to be back. He already has 69 yards on the ground in this game, back alongside Enoch Mwamba, Darius Pickett, and Milt Stegall. And Darius, you said in our pregame that if the Hamilton Tiger Cats had a shot of winning this football game, everything would have to go right. You can look at that first half and say a lot of things actually went right. Maybe the football gods looking down on them, because a few of those plays, of course, they were a fault of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but it's almost like Hamilton needed them to get something going.
Absolutely. I think Saskatchewan definitely missed out on some opportunities to advance with points, giving a missed field goal right here. That's a chip shot. It looked like it should be easy money, but it's not. 1 point there. This fumble right here, this should be a nice recovery for them to set up Trevor Harris in offense, but missed opportunity by Tavon Campbell. And Curly Giddens got the ball back for them. This roughing the passer right here, hands to the face, got to be smarter. It's just easy, and he took him down to the ground. Got to play real smart. Missed opportunities is keeping Hamilton in the game and keeping the game real close.
Yeah, and they had the Mitchell return, which set up great field position for Jake Dolegala, and they took advantage of it. Of course, they would have loved a touchdown, but they got the field goal out of it, and that's what you need. And Jake, I won't say he's playing bad because he had to turn the ball over. And if you don't turn the ball over, when you have a good defense, you can make things happen. But as you said, Darius, he's throwing the ball like he's throwing the ball to himself. It's a lot of high passes like he's throwing it to 6-7 receivers, and there are no 6-7 receivers out there. And we talk about Kenny Lawler who can go up and get the ball. But, you know, he just has to settle down. I think Scott Milanovich has to let him air it out a little bit, because I think if he can complete a big play, that will build up his confidence. I don't think he's playing with confidence now, and it's hard to play with confidence when you really haven't thrown a meaningful pass since 2023, and you're out there now, you're playing against a good defense in a hostile environment, but you're still in the game. You're still in the game because of your defense. And I joked before the game that they didn't have a chance to win. I was being serious, but of course I was joking, because anytime you step on the field as a professional team, you have a chance to win with the type of returns, with the type of defense, with the type of coaching staff they have. But now they have to go out there and see if he can actually go out there and win a game for him.
Yeah, to me, Keandre Smith, Curly Giddens Jr., those guys have to be an outlet for him, because of course Kenny Lawler is going to demand attention like we've seen. But on the flip side, you got to look at this defense by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I think they did a good enough job to give Jake Dolegala and the rest of this team a chance to win this game. They've been busy all day today, and in the hot game as well. They've been playing tremendously well. AJ Ouellette's back. He doesn't have 100 yards yet, but he's had 13 carries already, and they did a good job of kind of maintaining and keeping him in check. And then they get here, right here, pressure on Trevor Harris. They did that multiple times. Julian Hauser and that front four, Wynn McManus, got extremely busy. These guys are giving this team a chance. They're keeping it close, like you said, Darius, and that's all you can do as a defense. And the only thing I'll say, and we know we talk about this all the time as a defense, when you get on the football field, especially in a game like this, sometimes you tell yourself, man, forget the offense, guys. It's got to be on us. We got to score. We got to create turnovers, and that's exactly what they have to do. Great first half by this defense, but they got to find a way to get their hands on the football and get to the end zone.
They do look like they're getting worn down.
They're getting tired.
They definitely getting run down.
Yeah, okay, very quickly, rain, snow, or heat? What would you rather play in?
Oh, heat.
Darius?
Heat for sure.
Heat?
I'll sweat all day in that heat.
No one's choosing snow.
No.
Nope. Absolutely
I have no say in this. I was not a player. Anyways, we got ourselves a football game.
You are a
currently
player, though, Kate. All those mascots you're hanging out.
I'm not even going to lie.
You're a player.
Riders up 11-7. I think, Joe.
Bring them out. 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 I bring them out. Where my dogs at, we gon' shut it down. Bring them out, ayy. I bring them out, ayy. Bring them out, ayy. I bring them out, ayy. Bring them out, ayy. I bring them out, ayy. Where the squad at, we gon' shut it down.
As promised, your Week 6 highlights, Red Blacks Elks Thursday night. First quarter action, Elks second and short, and then red zone handoff to guess who? Justin Rankin. Rankin. Don't tell them that yet. We're
sorry.
breaking that out next week.
Lord,
That's the left. He's off of the house. Rankin
He be
had
balling.
107 yards on the ground.
He get off.
He's great. Honestly, Darius, I don't know how you ever stop this man. Now,
The offense has to run through him.
game. So Rankin gets the swing pass, works his way down the right side, 33 yards to pay dart. Part of a 24-point quarter for the Elks, who moved to 4-1. The Red Blacks, oh boy, they moved to 0-5 on this season. Sorry about this one, Darius. Argonauts Blue Bombers Friday.
This one hurt.
Fourth quarter action, Bombers in front. Vavel collects the missed field goal, takes it from the back of the end zone. No one's catching him. The longest return in Bombers history. The best part about that was his play before that. It was a fumble. And then he does this. Helps Drew Brown get his first win as the Bombers starting QB. They take it 31-20, your final. And yesterday was the Stampeders and Alouettes. Late in the first, Owls up by 3 with a little trickery. Davis Alexander.
Jump pass?
It was a jump. How good of a jump pass was that?
A little Tim Tebow.
Look at the way Philpott reacts, though, too. That was great cutback in there. Philpott, he has 719 receiving yards already this season.
Balling.
I would like to apologize to one Milt Stiegel. Once in a while, we come up with new segments. Straight Fire was one of them. I can't think of any others off the top of my head. But Milt came up with a brand new segment a few weeks back, and for 2 straight weeks, I have missed throwing it to him. So, Milt, I apologize on national television.
Apology not accepted.
Thank
Apology
you.
not accepted.
Give me 2 more weeks. I'm sure you will. But needless to say, who is your dog of the week?
But real quick, let's go back to the dog of the weeks that weren't recognized because of Kate. Of course, week 1, we recognized it was Rankin. Week 2 was Chad Kelly. Last week, of course, Vernon Adams with a historical game. But this week, it goes to Tyson Philpott, dog of the game. In this game, he had 9 catches, 132 yards, and 1 touchdown. But as Kate mentioned, his body of work this year has been amazing. 45 catches, 719 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Tyson Philpott is in that zone. He's that man. He's making it happen. You can't stop him. You can't slow him down. There's nothing you can do. As we always say, his only nemesis is injury. If he stays healthy, he will break records like no other. He will have a historical season. So congratulations to Tyson Philpott for being the dog of the week. Darius, I'm expecting you to ball out so you can be the dog of the week 1 week so we can say,
Oh, yeah. It's coming.
Can we please stop the sound effects on it? I really love, I think we need this segment sponsored. No. I deserve this. I deserve this.
We're looking for a sponsor, too. We're looking for a sponsor.
Are we? I'm sorry. I thought the $1 sign was enough.
No, we're looking for a sponsor.
No, you know what? Yeah. Tyson Philpott, a tremendous start to the season. And you know what? We built that up as the Philpott Bowl as well, too. And look, they've both been really good, but my goodness, Tyson's just on a completely different level of this one. And you know what, Milt? One more thing about the dog of the week. Guess what they're doing at halftime?
Perfect timing.
Awesome.
Perfect timing.
Corgi Cup, and there's actually twin corgis. Oh, I love
Get up
it.
out of here.
Those barks are
Get up out of there.
Get him, baby.
Get up out of there.
No more barking.
Good dog.
Well, it is a beautiful Sunday in Regina. The Riders lead the Ticats 11-7. Wynton McManus of the Ticats standing by with Britt Dork.
Wynton, so far this season, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have been known for their defensive work. You've said your message as a leader is always to remain dominant out there. How do you evaluate what you've done so far?
I think we've done a pretty good job. And, I feel like there's a lot more players out there for us to make. We got to give our offense more chances, more opportunities to get on the field. And, we got to win first down.
How will this heat play a role in what you think teams will be able to do in the second half?
I know we cook all day in the heat, so we're not really worried about the heat. For us to kind of feel kind of cool right now, the shade is out, so let's play ball the second half.
Thanks, Wynton.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go. The discussion about the heat continues because the heat here today is no yoke.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah. It's starting to cook that egg a little bit, but it is starting to cool down. At the beginning of the game, that was up beyond 50. Now it's down in that 40 range.
And shade on both sides. That first half for Hamilton, they were in the sun the whole time.
The Riders with the lead will also have the ball to start the second half. Looking to improve to 4-1 on the year. Ticats will be needing a comeback to find that 3-2. And here goes Sexton again. And he pushes through, breaks a couple of tackles, still going all the way out to the Rider 50.
Matthew Sexton is a keeper.
I think he might be hurt, though. He's on the sideline. Trevor Harris is getting ready to roll here.
Yeah,
here's what he did in the first half.
Take a look at his first half, and Trevor Harris, both these offenses not real dynamic in that first half. He did get that one long drive going. I think it was a 7-play drive, ended with a touchdown to Sam Amelis. That's where the Riders took the lead, and there is the touchdown.
There's what Trevor Harris did in the first half. 11-15 for 116 and the touchdown. The bad news here, though, for the Riders is Matthew Sexton on the return was injured enough that we believe they've called for a cart. I saw right away when he went down, he sort of quickly grabbed to that right leg. And he has been great. I mean, he had a punt return touchdown last week.
So he's fine there. And then when he went down,
a tackle from Middlemost. Let's see. Yeah, he broke about 3 or 4 tackles. You'll see Middlemost come in here to make the last tackle. This might be the best look that we're going to get at it. Like
landed on his leg, yeah.
And the cart is out here for Sexton. Burst onto the scene last week, had a couple of great returns, and this one was a great return as well. And there's Corey Mace holding his hand as they work on his right leg.
Well, you mentioned how much Corey Mace just was raving about Sexton, and not just his big return in that first game against Ottawa, but that we're looking forward to getting him into the receiving corps, getting some reps on offense.
Tough scene here at Mosaic. Trevor Harris with a few words for the rookie Matthew Sexton, who's out of this game. We'll step away. Welcome back. CFL on TSN here in Regina, and they've got the air boot on the right leg of Matthew Sexton, who, if you're just joining us, was injured a few moments ago on a return. He had 304 kick return yards in his 2 games. He really burst onto the scene here in Saskatchewan, and he's in because of an injury replacement to James Letcher, who's on the 6th game, and now they'll lose his replacement in Sexton.
Yeah, a bunch of controversy when Lecter went down because Sam Amelis replaced him, and then Sam Amelis in that game got hurt, and Corey Mace took a lot of heat after that game, putting in a star receiver as a returner. But I would defended Corey Mace in that decision because returning punts is a very difficult job, and there's not many guys that can do it. If you have 1 or 2, you're lucky, because even tracking a punt and catching it in the air, which is crucial, is really tough to do. So when you have them, you might be a star receiver or a star DB that's got to play on the teams. Plus the rosters are too small to go full backups with every position.
Well, we'll monitor who's going to be returning next time we see the Riders in that situation. Here's Amelis. Great timing from Trevor Harris on that, and it's a first down for the Riders.
Now, each guy in the locker room at halftime would go in, and all the T-shirts and everything would be changed. Because now, especially the little guys, the receivers, DBs, they're worried about weight. Now, this may sound silly, but if you have another 3 or 4 ounces of sweat in your shirt and you feel like you're getting heavy, you don't feel as fast, you want to change that.
It's got to freshen up.
You got to freshen up.
Mix in a shower.
Looked like they did on that dig route.
5th catch of the game for Amelis. Harris fakes the handoff. Now dumps it over the middle, and it's intercepted. Waiting there, it was McManus. Right place, right time. Ticats defense with the takeaway.
I'll show you why Trevor Harris didn't think that this guy, Wynton McManus, was going to be involved in this play, because McManus turns his back to Harris. Play action fake here. McManus, stop it there. His back is to Harris. Harris says he doesn't know where I'm going to throw the ball. If he's not looking at me, he throws it. McManus flips that head around, and the ball lands right in his hands.
8th career interception for Wynton McManus. If the Ticats were going to have a path to what many people would describe as an upset here today, probably had to start with that defense. Now they'll go on the ground. Roundtree pushing it ahead. That's one of his better carries of the day. They kept him contained in the first half. He had just 12 yards of 4 touches.
Let's go back to that big play by Wynton McManus. This is the intended target out here, and Keon Schaefer-Baker. And McManus is playing the play action first. That's his job as a middle linebacker. You see his back's to the ball, but then when he gets his head around, he knows he's in the right place from a depth perspective. He just has to get his head around to the ball, and it arrived right in his hands.
There's the 3rd interception of the year thrown by Trevor Harris.
Or he has eyes in his back of his head. I don't know. Either way.
They'll run it again, pushing it ahead, and it's a first down for the Ticats. Back to Roundtree once more.
And a little play package for Trey Ford out there. And we did talk to Scott Malinovich. There was some question as to who would start when Bo Levi Mitchell went down. Trey Ford got the first reps in that game against Winnipeg where Bo was hurt. Threw an interception. Did not have a great outing, based on the fact that he does have more experience as a starter than Dolegala. And Dolegala finished that game.
Dolegala back out there now, fakes the handoff, has time in the pocket, takes off, and now he's going to run. And the big fella scrambles for a first down, and a little bit more, still going up to the 45 before he's taken down. What a play. Dolegala using his legs.
Well, he can. I mean, I talked about off the top that these two quarterbacks are pocket guys, but he can run now. Big 6'7", more of a lumber than a run. He's kind of just big strides. It almost fooled a couple of tacklers, didn't it? Josh Woods trying to catch up. Tavon Campbell.
Dolegala making sure he protected that ball at the end of the run. Low snap. Still gets it to Roundtree, who pushes it down towards the 40. Pick up of close to 4 on first down, as the Ticats offense has kind of been stuck in neutral, but maybe that run by Dolegala gives them a spark.
Well, I think Scott Malinovich probably heard Milt Stegall in the panel say, you know, if they want to be successful with a young quarterback like this, then Roundtree's got to be a big part of the offense. Clearly, he went in and looked at the tablets, looked at the numbers, and thought, we got to get the run game involved more in the second half, because it's been the Roundtree drive, at least on first down.
Only 4 touches, 4 carries, I should say, for Roundtree. Had a couple catches as well in the first half. He's got 3 already here early in the 3rd quarter. Now he's out in the slot to the right for Dolegala, who looks left, throws left. A little bit of a high ball. It's hauled in by Keandre Smith. Tackle made by Josh Woods, and they'll be about a yard short. And they'll bring out the big boys to push it ahead.
Pretty simple concept out to the left, but boy, this is just yet another example of a high throw by Dolegala. You just got to bring that target just down about a foot, and he'll be bang on. It's a full yard here.
It is a full yard. It's a big yard, too. Ball sitting on the Rider 35. Dolegala trying to keep this drive alive here. Needs a single yard. Pushing it ahead. Oh, he's driven back. Hammered down by the Riders. Not going to get there.
Jackson Ford again. We'll see where they mark the ball. You never know where forward progress got to.
Needed to get to the 34, and it is a turnover on downs. Riders defense sealed away their victory against Ottawa in similar fashion. Jackson Ford there to drive Dolegala back.
University of Regina product. Jackson Ford right there coming off the edge on third down in a 5-point game against Ottawa. Big play to get the ball back for his offense. How about a repeat performance right here on another key play? Comes from the other side. Now he's in man-to-man in this case. Has to come all the way across the formation and then steps up on Dolegala before he can get that low center of gravity and drive forward. What a back-to-back games with big plays and turnovers created by 21. Somewhere Grandpa Allen is just out of his chair.
I have a phone call with them after the game, as they told us last week.
Right.
That'll be a good phone call tonight.
We just got to make sure that's the fellow. D-line been playing damn good. We
got 2 starts last year.
We fixed it.
And I said this on CKRM radio, my radio show here in Saskatchewan that I work on a couple of times, but that Jackson Ford looked like he was forcing it last year a little bit and lost the starting job, got it back with some injuries this year, and has been making the most of his opportunities. In fact, he's letting the game come to him and make the plays that he's supposed to make. That was a big hit.
Now Harris gets it away. That is a first down for the first time today. He'll get Duncan Busby involved.
Yeah, that 15 degrees. That 15 degrees drop at halftime has made a difference with the offense, at least for Trevor Harris anyway. A little more jump in their step coming out of that huddle.
Doesn't feel any cooler in the booth. Just telling you. First and 10 from the 50. Quickly to Keyshawn Johnson, and he pushes ahead and beats Destin Talbert for another first down.
Quick game, play action. Lots of moving parts there for Trevor Harris.
Fourth catch of the game for Keyshawn Johnson. Another one, this time batted down.
Jamal Peters is a vet. I mean, this is a 6-year guy. So if you run a bunch of slants and complete 1 or 2, he's going to say enough is enough, and just say no. I'm jumping at this time. If you double move me, okay.
The previous play for defensive pass interference.
Jamal is now. They're going to review to see it. Corey Mace thought he was a little early, but he jumps that slant.
Well, we'll want to give you a few more looks at it here.
Now, last time we saw a play similar to this last weekend, it wasn't overturned because both players have a chance to the ball. But, you know, in both cases,
was there enough contact up on the right side of him? As Peters comes around with his left hand, it's his left hand that was clean that knocked the ball away, but it was a little bit of contact up by that right shoulder that could have been slightly early.
That point by Trevor Harris there was why Corey Mace, I'm sure, he went right upstairs to his scout saying, but I don't think that's enough. I don't see enough there. But we'll see what they come up with. The last time this type of thing happened in a bang situation like this, it wasn't overturned.
I can see why they challenged it, but I also think they're in a pretty hard spot to overturn this one.
Can show you once in regular speed, give it a little more a different perspective. I mean, well, we'll see.
This is an interesting one. Let's send it down the field for the results.
After review by the replay center, the ruling on the field stands. Saskatchewan has lost the challenge and has lost the timeout. Second down.
Crowd does not like it. Corey does not like it. He's now, 10 for 23, 43% on challenges in his career. They just showed it again on the big screen here at Mosaic, and that got the crowd even a little more riled up. When it's all said and done, 2nd and 10 here for Harris. 3 options, now 4 options out to his wide side left. That's where he's going to look to start. That's where he's going to throw, and he's got Emilus again. Emilus hangs onto the ball and is taken down at the Ticat 30.
Going to get J.J. Ouellette out of the backfield. Little chip. And he goes back to that dig route from the backside with Schaefer Baker holding the coverage underneath it.
He's a happy guy.
Well, he's got Caleb Hayes, who's a rookie.
That's why he's smiling.
He's smiling. He's going, there might be more to come.
Got a touchdown already in this game. It's 4th of the year. That leads the team. Back on the ground this time. A.J. Ouellette. Little bit of space. Found a hole. Pushing it ahead. First down, Riders. And he'll take it inside the red zone. He's feeling it now.
Peyton Collins gets a great kick-out block right in the left of your screen there on Osai, and then that's the block that gives A.J. a chance on the perimeter. Whit McManus gets caught in the wash. I always wonder where the middle linebacker was in plays like that. He got caught in the wash, and Collins got the kick-out block, and away he went.
Coming into the game, Riders are 71% inside the red zone. Short pickup. Hauser and McManus able to contain A.J. Ouellette. That time his 16th carry of the ball game. Got just a yard, so it'll be 2nd and 9 here for the Riders offense. Trying to open up this 4-point lead a little bit. On as Harris gets ready to take this snap. 2nd and 9. Big play here midway through the 3rd quarter. Harris, corner route, drops it in there, touchdown Riders. Schaefer Baker's got his 3rd of the year.
Looked to me like Trevor Harris may go with a check down here because of the drops from McManus. But he saw something bigger. He saw Schaefer Baker on a corner route and a one-on-one, and he took it. That's the little underneath after the chip. It looked like A.J. Ouellette was open, and that Schaefer Baker really wasn't. But he trusted that Baker would win the jump ball or win the battle on the corner route, and he certainly did.
For an 11-point lead at home. And that is what he delivers. The crowd approval. Schaefer Baker finishes off an 8-play, 75-yard drive that took just over 4.5 minutes. And Trevor Harris has multiple touchdowns in every game so far this season. Third TD of the year for Keith Schaefer Baker's career high is 5, so he's well on that pace.
First couple things. One, it's a good man concept here with the corner route, and watch the shake and bake from Schaefer Baker, because the man make sure that the corner can't fall underneath this, and then that move down the field on Hayes, the rookie halfback. Schaefer Baker wins the one-on-one, is in good position, and Hayes actually tripped.
You said shake and bake, right?
Yeah, shake and bake.
Shake and bake. Shake and bake. He's got to put that on a shirt. Now here's Wooden on the return. Oh, and he's wrapped up and taken down, and there's a flag, and Wooden is slow to get up as well.
That's going to be a horse collar.
Looks like he is up. That will hopefully be okay. Trevor Harris into the waiting arms of Schaefer Baker. Gainer's got to be sweaty, but he's loving it.
On behalf of the CFL and the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, it is my honor to tell you, Charleston Chuck Hughes, that you have been selected as a member of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, class of 2026, my guy. Congrats, my guy. Let's go! It's about time! It's about time!
And how can you not agree with that? It is about time. When you look at Charleston Hughes stats, they don't lie. They asked head coach Corey Mace about the opportunity to deliver the news to Hughes. He said, that was so cool. I've never been a part of anything like that. Then he talked about all the time they spent together over the years as teammates and before Mace went on to coach. He described Hughes' career as incredible. He said how smart he was, crafty. He always had success, always fun to be around. And of course, guys, he had to end it on some friendly fire. He joked, well, we're going to have to look at that ugly mug forever now, I guess.
That's not nice. You can say that about friends, right? That's how's a 5-time CFL sack leader for you.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah, just it is about time there, no question. And not only that, but just a great ambassador and character in the game. I mean, sit down and have an interview with Charleston Hughes one day, or have him talk in a podcast or whatever it might be, and you're going to have some fun with that. But the numbers, I mean, are off the hook. I mean, 136 sacks in his career. So many tools in his toolbox.
6-time All-Star. 2nd and 4. Dolegala has Lawler. And he's taken down, but he's got a first down, an important first down. Trying to stop the bleeding here for the Ticats.
Important for 2 reasons, I think. One is, get some momentum back, get a couple first downs, give your defense a rest. And 2, because it was a good throw in the right spot from Dolegala. Even if it was a short throw, those are ones you can build on. And that was right where it needed to be.
Here in Mosaic starting to get fired up behind this defense. Roundtree again. And he's got nowhere to go that time. Liam Hoskins. First contact on that defensively for the Riders.
Another important play. I know there's a whole quarter to go, but this second down is important for the Ticats. Try and continue to give their defense a little bit of a rest, even if they have to punt the ball here at some point and swap the field position. If not, Saskatchewan and Trevor Harris got good field position and a lot of momentum.
Hoskins out of Windsor University. Dolegala, and that's deflected. Looked like he threw off of 1 foot there, and it falls incomplete, and they'll be forced to kick it away again.
Yeah, I think he had a rusher down by his legs, and that might have been why the mechanics weren't great on this throw. I don't think a defensive lineman got a hand on it, but he kind of throws it falling away. You see that there is a D lineman down low on his legs. But that looked like that was well after the ball was thrown.
Daniel Weave back to return this punt. After Sexton had to leave the game earlier on an injury to start the half. This is going to bounce out of bounds, and a flag will fly on that one. The reality sensation is back, and it's hotter than ever. New singles, shocking twists, and drama you won't see coming. Love Island USA, stream now, only on Crave. I heard it's your favorite show, Suits.
Well, it's a good one. And here's the thing. I got an idea for a Love Island.
Okay.
We put all the mascots on one island and drop Kate out of a helicopter.
People would watch that. People would watch that. Trevor Harris will get the ball back here late in the 3rd with an 11-point lead.
See the laser focus from Trevor there, getting into the huddle, knowing that another score here goes a long way to buttoning this one up.
It's early, but this is almost closing time here for the Riders if they can drive the field. Goes to Keyshawn Johnson, who is involved in a hand battle with Peters, and a flag did fly for pass interference.
Peters was up in press position down here. And
Pass interference, Hamilton number 2. This is a 10-yard penalty, and it makes it an automatic first down.
well, I guess in the opinion of the officials on this one, you know, it would be that he was messing with him through the break. As soon as he came out of the break on that slant, he made contact and wasn't letting him run his route. Different than arriving at the same time when the ball arrived, or just before it.
Felt like he was messing with that left arm as Johnson tried to run through. This is Johnson, upended at the 50. That's Johnny Johnson. His first catch of the game.
That was a real good tackle, Dustin. I mean, that tackle is a tough one to make with all the, basically with all the room that you have. That's the wide side of the field, one-on-one on a tackle. And that's Walton making that from the wide side corner. There's about 50 yards each side of Johnson on that play.
Damari Walton, second-year Ticat out of Mississippi. Big tackle on the far side of the field. 2nd and 3. A.J. let him slide over to the left of Harris. A little bit of a bobble. A.J. picks it up. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage and no further. And the Riders will have to punt it away here late in the third quarter. Oh, Tommy Stevens was into the game.
Yeah.
Trevor Harris was down here.
He was still on the field, And then he went out wide, and then the timing on this just a little off with Tommy Stevens. He didn't even get his hands on the ball, I don't think.
Maybe just the fingertips of his left hand.
Maybe that snap came a little early as they have the discussion, he and Logan Ferlin going back to the sideline.
A little sloppy, and they'll have to kick it away.
Important stop, though, for Hamilton there.
Pretty much had to have it. This one hops just inside the 25. Mitchell will grab it and step out of bounds. And Dolegala, here's the thing. He's still in this football game.
Absolutely. And
down 11.
Okay, but I guess the next question that you could bring up.
Don't give it to me.
Here it comes. Do you make a change, try and create a spark, and put a guy that can maybe run around and make some things happen off schedule like Trey Ford can? Scott Milenovich told us he has a package for Trey Ford, always did, even when Bo was healthy.
Well, you're through 3 quarters pretty much this game. Dolegala's got 65 passing yards. Yeah, it's a valid question. See what he can do here. Finds Roundtree. He's hammered, but stays on his feet. Oh, that was some heavy contact. And Marcus Sales got the worst of that. He is still down. How did Roundtree stay on his feet?
Man, hope he's okay. That was serious contact.
Now, he'll get a breather here as we hit the end of the third quarter. It is the Riders 18, Ticats 7. As Saskatchewan looks to wrap up week 6 on the CFL schedule with a win at home. Fourth quarter action coming up here, CFL on TSN. Ticats trailing 18-7, 65 passing yards right now for Jake Dolegala.
Yeah, and that's why I brought up the question, is it time? I would suggest that, I'm not sure, what Scott Milenovich is thinking at this moment, but if something doesn't happen offensively for Hamilton in this drive, then do they go with Trey Ford, try to change things up, maybe provide a spark? It's good to see that Marcus Sales is okay after that big hit. But
if this drive ends quickly, here's another look at this last hit.
Roundtree bounces off of it. He's got to go out for 3 plays now. Probably a stinger or just winded, trying to regroup there.
He's still on the field. I wonder if it's because it was the end of the quarter.
Oh, maybe.
Stop and play anyway. He doesn't have to go off for 3 plays. That's got to be the reason. All right, 2nd and 10, a big one for Dolegala. Riders will send 4, gets it away, finds Lawler. Sales is there. Lawler's going to have it, but he's going to be taken down about a yard short of that first down marker.
We talked to Scott Milenovich about how both of these quarterbacks came out of The training staff is out there. I'm surprised that Marcus Sales is still on the field. But they're saying that was the water. That was a water break, not necessarily a trainer break.
3rd and 1. They're going to go for it on their own 35. We're stopped just a few moments ago. This time won't be stopped. Dolegala, all 6'7" of them, right up the middle. That's a first down for the Ticats.
Yeah, Scott Milinovich told us this week that, when they came out of camp, they both had some good days and some not so good days. When I'm talking about Dolegala and Trey Ford. And then they got into the regular season, and again in practice there was some good moments for both and some not so good moments. So they put Trey Ford at number 2 with a package. Remember in that one game when he had Trey Ford out there to eat up the clock, and basically running almost like a veer offense, but
that's when they had Bo help.
Yeah, exactly.
Dolegala, a little hot. Keandre Smith, though, knows he should have had it.
It's going to sound like a broken record here on the throw location, but Dolegala has got some open receivers. He's had some, and that one should have been caught. That's the one that Keandre, that's why he's so upset with himself here. Because there has been a lot of high throws. That one was a little bit high, but that's a catchable ball, and Smith knows it.
2 catches on 7 targets for Keandre Smith. Top day if you've got him on your fantasy team. Now here's Dolegala. He's in trouble and taken down. Bounced right back into some traffic. And he's wrapped up again by the Riders.
How do those big boys have that kind of energy to celebrate after this? Yeah, nothing fancy about the pass rush. Just a straight little twist between the 2 tackles, and 4-man pressure gets there.
Second sack of the game for Roughriders. And the Ticats forced to kick it away once more. This is a low kick. Weave hustles over, takes it cleanly at the 35, uses that momentum to push it out back beyond the 50. It's been a tough day for Jake Dolegala. This doesn't help. Roughriders had one in the first half. He's got another one here. Give him 4 on the season. The FIFA World Cup semifinals begin on Tuesday as France faces Spain at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. And then it continues on Wednesday as England faces Argentina at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. You can catch all the action on TSN, CTV, and Crave. It's the top 4 teams in the world remaining in this event. First time since 1992 the top 4 ranked teams in the world have made it to the Final 4 of the World Cup. Schaefer Baker kicks it to the outside. Good burst. First down, Riders.
That was a lateral, so Schaefer Baker had to make that catch. He did, or it's a live ball.
They say he stepped out a yard short.
He got in behind Trevor Harris on this throw, so it was pretty close, actually. And then good blocking downfield by Sam Emelis. I mean, these are 2 teams that both receiving cores, boy, do they block downfield for their teammates.
2nd and a yard. Tommy Stevens in to clean things up. Lunges ahead, runs into McManus, little pushing and shoving, but that is a first down for Saskatchewan.
Rock meets stone on that little matchup right there.
Did you see McManus send him back to the sideline?
Just get back over there. And all the way, Tommy Stevens going, yeah, but I made it. You know, I got the first down. Look at this. All right. Great talk with Wynn McManus this week. My favorite aspect of that talk is when he talked about getting older and becoming that vet. And he said, you know, prehab avoids rehab.
That was a good line. Well, that is wrapped up.
100 games for Wynn McManus. And surprisingly, and he wanted us to double check this, so we will, but he said he's never faced Trevor Harris as a rider. And Trevor's played in 200 games and he couldn't remember. He said, I'm not sure if I've ever played against Trevor Harris. It just didn't work out that way.
He had to have played against him
somewhere along the way, but yeah, that was. If you prehab, that means ice even if you're not hurt. Just ice down even if you're not hurt. Prehab avoids rehab.
And it's with an interception of Harris already today. And that one, Katsatonis goes up. Highlight reel pick. But he's hurt. He's down. He hang on to that ball. Don't like to see this. Arguably the best safety in the entire league.
Just play in the middle and playing off the throw and the throwing motion. He did hang on to that ball.
Saw him reach to his tailbone, didn't you? Looks like he reached around at the end for his lower back.
Great timing to break up that throw. Yeah, he did land on that tailbone, didn't he?
Still has the ball. Third interception of the year comes at a price for Katsatonis. Katsatonis back on the bench, sitting up. Saw some smiles from him as well, so he looks to be okay. How about these numbers? This includes the interception that he just hauled in.
Yeah, which ties him with Zy Alexander of the Calgary Stampeders for tops in the league. Just was one behind him coming into this weekend, and that's a great play, great timing. And he carried that ball through the trainer coming out to help him all the way to the bench, and they finally kind of pried it out of his hands.
Dolegala back out there, trailing by 11, and that one misses Roundtree. Hamilton's defense is keeping them in this football game, but the offense cannot get anything going.
Well, the other aspect of whether or not you make a quarterback change at this point is, unfortunately, Bo Levi Mitchell is going to be out for some time. So they need to find the guy.
Yeah, this isn't a one-off.
And who's that going to be? And maybe you leave Dolegala out there to try and find a way to figure it out.
Four options out to his left. Pressure coming, gets it away. Finds Lawler with speed. He's hit. Ball's out. Riders are on it. And it sails down inside the 20. Looking for some blocks. Looking for the end zone. Got it. They're going to mark him out at the 1. Might have stepped out way back by the 30. But he didn't find the end zone.
Well, this one isn't on Dolegala. He completes this throw, and the ball is stripped. Crossing route. Lawler, he's got it on under the upfield arm, which is...
Previous play is under review.
Any turnover is automatically reviewed, so that's not unusual. Looks like he got to the 1, but let's take a look at the end of it, see if he got in to the end zone here. No, stepped out of, and the ball did not cross the plane before that, so that's the correct marking. That's on the 1-yard line.
I said right after that he might have stepped out back around the 30, so I think they might be taking a look at that as well. He was very close to the sideline when he turned that ball back upfield.
Well, they're also going to check to make sure. It was a clean fumble. But let's take a look. Foot there. No, you can see grass in between, or turf anyway.
After automatic review by the replay center, the ruling on the field stands. It's first down.
So it will be a Rider first down at the 1.
I thought I got it. He's just upset he didn't score.
Second half for Sales. Big hit earlier. Turnover there. Tommy Stevens to finish the job. Looking for the end zone. He's there. Touchdown Riders. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Seals this one away.
number 12. Tony Zakowski.
You were bang on when you said Hamilton's defense was keeping them in this football game, and the one thing they just absolutely could not do is turn it over on offense. The turnover turns into 7 real quick, or 6 anyway, with the extra point pending, but
Hale puts it up, and he misses it.
so it stays at 6. But yeah, this is the one thing, even though all game long Jake Dolegala was struggling trying to get this offense in any kind of rhythm, get them going down the field. And the one thing they absolutely couldn't do is turn it over. Kenny Lawler, who has the surest hands in the league, is going to just drag across the middle. The throw is right where it needs to be, but stop it there. If you go back a little bit on that, Kenny Lawler has the ball in the wrong hand. He has it in the upfield hand. Keep backing up a little bit. And this is just for young players that are watching. He's got to switch this ball to the opposite hand because the contact's coming from that side. It's coming from inside out always. And even the pros and the best in the business forget sometimes to switch it over.
Antoine Brooks forcing the fumble. Sales recovering, taking it to the 1, and then Tommy Stevens does what Tommy Stevens does, finds another yard.
I thought he might walk right over to Wynton McManus and just have a little discussion
I
with
was
him
wondering
right there.
if he was going to take a quick peek over to McManus. Off of turnovers in this game for the Riders. Isaiah Wooden takes it off his shoulder just inside the 15, picks his way through some traffic, gets it back up to the Ticad 38, and Dolegala trots back out again. As you said, that last turnover not on him. Kenny Lawler, rare mistake.
No, but the discussion doesn't change, really. I'm sure there's many a Hamilton fan, based on the 3 quarters of work from the Hamilton offense, that really hadn't produced anything except for those 7, which wasn't even a major.
Just 5 of 8 for 30 yards in this half, and now he's under fire, and he's taken down. Got the ball away, but the pressure was there from Caleb Sanders. I think Sanders thought he had a sack. He didn't know Dolegala got rid of that.
Oh, how about that bull rush? Caleb Sanders.
Wow.
Not very often you get an offensive tackle on his backside at this level.
Or guard. 2nd and 10. Roundtree wide open out of the backfield. Pushing it ahead, and he's going to be stopped about a yard short of a Ticat first down. Dolegala will stay out there to push this thing ahead and try to create a sense of urgency to get some points on the board here. Trailing 24-7.
Yeah, and they got to get in and out of the huddle quickly, too.
Let's see where they spot this ball. That is enough for a first down.
Scott Milenovich has got to find an answer at the position. That would be, it's pure speculation, but that would be, to me, why he's leaving Jake out there.
Give Jake the whole game, see what the whole game looks like. James Gittens Jr. That's his first catch of the game, and he does have a first down for the Ticats. The thing is that you're not just dropping off from a pretty good CFL starter. You're dropping off from a future Hall of Famer who's won everything that you could possibly win. Bo Levi Mitchell. Those are massive shoes to fill.
Yeah, and patience is going to be necessary here for Ticat fans, as hard as that will be.
Empty backfield for Dolegala. Riders just send 3. And that ball is caught. It is out. And the Riders have it again. Myron Mitchell let it slip. It was pretty quick. Could be ruled an incomplete pass. They're going to take a look at it. It is ruled an incomplete pass.
Closer than that ruling came out. I mean, this is slow motion, so it distorts the reality of it all, but that was a catch and a turn.
Or a step.
You know, almost a football move to catch it, turn upfield, and then it was stripped. However, that was slow motion, and that distorts it.
I can't believe Milanovic is wearing a jacket on that sideline down there.
Remember, Corey Mays lost his challenge.
The call is incomplete pass, and that's what it will be. 2nd and 10 for Dolegala. They dodge a bit of a bullet. He'll just go right back again to Mitchell. Flag comes out, back by the quarterback. Looks like that play is enough for a first down.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Saskatchewan number 42. 15 yards out of the end of the play. And first down.
It's Mike Rose got the penalty, just got it right across the face mask. That will be called.
Ball moved up to the 26-yard line of Saskatchewan. Dolegala, far sideline, stretching out there was Keandre Smith. Just his 3rd catch of the game.
Yeah,
and they'll be 3 yards short.
In case fans are wondering on that ruling why it wasn't automatically challenged, or not automatically challenged, but automatically gone to replay, was that it was ruled on the field incomplete. Ruled on the field incomplete, then it's not a turnover that is automatically challenged. All turnovers are automatically. If it was ruled a fumble, it would have been automatically looked at from the replay center.
Dolegala, Roundtree, spin cycle, got free, made the first man miss. Second one will secure him and lock him up. That was Jameer Thurman.
And the argument for keeping Dolegala out there is on display right now. It's having him settle in. Now, a lot of those are real underneath throws on this drive, but that high ball has kind of disappeared in the last 4 or 5 throws here. He's settling in a little bit now. Got a long mountain to climb here, big mountain to climb.
Hamilton on a 3rd and 1. Riders defense. Can they stop it again? He breaks through a hole, picks up the first down. Ticats have not found the end zone yet today. Points coming on field goals, single. Something to build on here, a 10-play drive. Hoping to find a major score here.
For this team and for moving forward and for Dolegala and for next game, about a 35-yard post in the middle of the end zone. Throw and catch here would go a long way for this team.
Clock ticks inside 4 minutes. Dolegala looks to his right. That's where he's going to throw. And it was Kenny Lawler, but it's incomplete.
Over-adjustment, maybe, for Dolegala. Yeah, that's with a DB coming downhill on a receiver. That's where the receiver wants it. He can protect himself. Break his belly down there, and Lawler dropped it.
Saskatchewan sends 4. Dolegala picked off just inside the 5 by Woods. And Woods is going to take it back to the 30. Look at him go. Woods to the 50. Will they catch him? He gets a little bit of help from his friends and he's gone. Final dagger. Riders. Touchdown Josh Woods. Pick 6 to finish it.
As hot as it is right now in this game, that post-game discussion is going to be even hotter now with the pick 6 thrown by Jake Dolegala. This team needed that post throw to be bang on for a touchdown for a lot of reasons. And instead, it was exactly the opposite. Hit Josh Woods, and he takes it all the way back to the house.
Second interception of the season for the former BC Lion. This one goes the distance the other way. And the Ticats are toast.
A 10-yard penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
This is a team that lost some big pieces on defense. They bring in Josh Woods, who had some great stretches in BC, but dealt with a lot of injuries during his time with the Lions as well. But he looks like he's been a Rider for a long time already, doesn't he? We talked to him this week. He loves playing.
Yeah, great addition. And 100% healthy, as you could see by that long run. Second interception of the season. And the first one with the house call. And
all Riders this evening at Mosaic, highlighted by the pick 6 from Josh Woods.
Kenny Lawler is the intended target here. He's going to run out, run that curl, and almost double move it back into the middle. And I just question the decision here. I know you want to get the ball to Kenny Lawler, but when this is intercepted, 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders around Kenny Lawler. And honestly, if Josh Woods doesn't make this pick, Antoine Brooks is going to. He cut underneath that. He was one of the 4 over there.
Wooden on the return. There's a flag as he pushes it ahead. Still going, great effort. It stopped just short of the 50. Josh Woods fitting in very well in Regina with the Riders. Week 7 on the CFL schedule will start with the human highlight reel so far this season. Justin Rankin coming in off a huge game, 150 yards and 3 touchdowns against Ottawa. The Elks will get things started on Friday Night Football at home and try to do something they've never done, and that's beat Nathan Rourke. So that's where we will start. Doubleheader on Saturday. Alouettes and Stampeders, a rematch of what was a pretty good game yesterday. Argos and Ticats, that's obviously a great rivalry. And then the Bombers and the Red Blacks. Will it be Drew Brown against Dinwiddie and Ottawa?
Yeah, we all hope that Zach is ready to go. Zach Claus is good to go, and he's healthy again. But if he's not, and Drew Brown gets into Ottawa,
I think even Zach's got to be like, still feeling a little banged up. And then just sit back and watch. All right, Trey Ford is now in the game. And he starts it with a pass to Keandre Smith, and that'll go for a first down. Too late for this decision.
If you left Jake Dolegala in to see if he could figure it out, then why this now? I mean, maybe just to protect his confidence a little bit, although it can't be that high right now.
It can't be great if you're not going back in after an interception that sealed the game away.
Yeah, it makes it worse in some ways.
The run and draw to Roundtree, and he's wrapped up and taken down. There's also a flag on the play.
But there was a chance there at around the 9-minute mark of this quarter where, well, actually the change of the quarter, when Dolegala had a chance to drive the field, didn't do it.
Hamilton, number 57, 10-yard penalty. First down.
And it was a 24-7 game at the time. So it was a chance for, if you're going to make that change and see if Trey Ford can bring a spark, to me, that's the time you do it. But they've still got to figure this out because, like we said earlier, this isn't a short-term thing. Bo's going to be out for the majority of the season.
This is just mop-up duty for Trey at this point. He'll go to Roundtree, and he is wrapped up immediately by Campbell. And it'll be second and very long for the Ticats.
I've been saying this whether Trey was in Edmonton or now in Hamilton, and with some really great football minds and offensive coordinators. He was with Jordan Maksimic for a while. He's now with Scott Milenovich, one of the quarterback gurus who knows a thing or two about the quarterback position, played it as a player, is an expert in this area.
There's Ford flushed out of the pocket. Now he's going to have to be on the run, and he escapes, looking for a little bit more, pushes it ahead, and will find the 45 to set up a third and long.
But whether he was in Edmonton or here, I think the offensive style, if you're going to play with Trey Ford, you really have to rethink the entire sort of offensive schemes. It's got to be a ton of the RPO stuff. Get him outside. Get him doing what he just did on that last play. If you leave him in the pocket, yeah, he can throw from there. We've seen that happen before, but I mean, his superpower is to get out off schedule and just make things happen.
Needs to find 8 yards here. And he's hammered, taken down. Caleb Sanders finishes the job. And the Riders will get the ball back on a night they've dominated.
Get him out here, get him outside of containment. Get him on the roll either way. I know it's easy to call plays from the broadcast booth. And like I said, Scott Milenovich knows more about offense than we'll ever know. He's probably forgotten more than we'll ever know. But I just think with Trey Ford, it's such a different style of quarterback. He needs his own playbook almost.
Now they'll give it to Stevens, and Tommy Stevens is going to rumble ahead. Tommy Stevens down inside the 15 before they wrap him up. You know he's going to break one for a touchdown at some point this year.
This is what Corey Mace told us, though, about Tommy Stevens and grinding down the clock late in games with the lead. You got your starter on the bench. Tommy Stevens can run this sort of run-first offense with backs in the backfield, fullback up front, and him just on quarterback sweeps, quarterback draws, or he can run the RPOs, grind the clock down, end the game.
26 yards on the ground there for Tommy Stevens. A.J. Ouellette will stand in behind him. Minute and a half left to go here in week 6. Tommy again following A.J. Ouellette right towards the end zone. Get out of his way. Touchdown Riders. It's the blowout at Mosaic.
One day we've got to ask these guys how much time they spend preparing their celebrations, but an extended fake, and this is what Tommy Stevens does. Usually on any of those play action or RPO type looking plays, the quarterback continues outside, not right behind the running back, and uses the tailback as a lead blocker. But he's a weapon. And I would suggest, you're the expert in this, partner, but I would suggest he will always be a good fantasy pick.
He is a very good bye-week replacement because you can put him in at your quarterback spot and hope he gets a couple, like, what we got, 17 fantasy points tonight for Tommy Stevens?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah, he gets down in the goal line area. He's going to run that short yardage stuff, and 17 points for 17? Is that what you're saying?
17 for 17. That being said, probably wasn't rostered in any leagues, but not a bad stash on the bench for all you fantasy folks out there.
There you go. And I can honestly say this is true inside info. How many leagues are you?
I'm in 5 leagues, but I'm what people would refer to as a fantasy football degenerate.
Yeah.
And I pretty much have everybody in the league on one of my teams. As that is up, it is through, and the lead is 31. Big smile on Tommy Stevens' face. Especially after being told to go back to the sideline earlier in the game by Winton McManus. Tommy Stevens gets the last laugh tonight. Stevens, career high, 10 touchdowns in Calgary back in 24.
Well, the creation of some turnovers and Josh Bell, their defensive coordinator, has got him fired up in that regard, this Saskatchewan defense, because, you know, Britt said it off the top. They've been playing well on defense. And Josh Woods was a great ad. Vaughters was a great ad in free agency when they lost Micah Johnson and Carney on the defensive line. But they hadn't created those turnovers yet. And they said when they come, they're going to come in bunches. There's going to be a ton of them. It sort of snowballs downhill, which is a really bad analogy in this heat. But
yeah, really don't need the snowball reference suits. Riders are going to improve to 4-1, and they've had great starts over the last few years. This kick a little bit short. It's going to be taken, bobbled. Wouldn't grab it again, though, and then he's hammered out. Give you a look at the West standings. The Riders started 5-1 in 2024 and 8-1 last year. I don't think we would have said this at the beginning of the year, but the Riders moved back into a tie for first place with Edmonton, as they both have 4-1 records so far this season.
And so guess who Saskatchewan has after their bye? They'll go on a bye after this game versus Hamilton. And guess who they have back-to-back coming out of the bye?
Is it Edmonton?
It might be Edmonton.
Those will be great games. Fajardo versus Harris. That should be fun.
Rankin, Harris. I hope I have helped to put Harris in the discussion, early discussion of MOP candidates.
200 more yards for Trevor tonight. A couple of interceptions. He only had 2 interceptions coming into this game, and he's thrown 2 tonight. Had 2 touchdown passes as well. Keeps his streak alive. He's had at least 2 touchdown passes in all of their games so far.
Yeah, and it's not always going to be 350, 400, 3, and
it's fun when it is.
It's fun when it is, and it's 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. It's not always going to be that way. Sometimes you have to grind and give credit to the opposing defense.
Here's Ford, right over the middle. That was a tight window. And Keandre Smith went down and got it.
Of course, the Riders secondary, although they're still flying around there, I think that was Jackson Ford with another hit on Keandre from behind. No, it was Edgeworth. But they're going to be playing with a lot more depth in the back end.
Ford will give this one to Roundtree. And he'll get about 4 yards on that first down carry. Here's the situation, what it looks like out in the east. Montreal comfortably in first at 4-1. Hamilton and Toronto, as we mentioned, they play next week.
Yes.
And then Ottawa still trying to figure things out at 0-5.
With Winnipeg heading their way. And if you're wondering about why scoring has been up in the first 4 weeks of the season, well over 50 points per game. I think it's over 60. This is another example. So was the game with both Zach and Bo went out, Winnipeg against Hamilton in Hamilton. When both of them went out, there was only 3 points scored the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering what has been the reason for scoring being way up, it's been the play of the quarterback. And the veterans, and then Davis Alexander and Nathan Rourke, and
Ticats have not scored a touchdown since they lost both.
Yeah, and VA, you know, like VA with his 7 touchdowns that game, you know, I mean, that's why scoring has been up. The play of the quarterback position has been outstanding. And when you see the younger guys come in, it starts to get a lot clearer.
Back on the ground on 3rd down. And it looks like that'll be enough for a Ticats first down. Here's time ticks down just outside of 20 seconds. And for Hamilton, I don't know if I so much call it a controversy as opposed to
it is
quarterback questions. Really,
it really is. It's quarterback questions, and you know Scott Milanovich is going to get a bunch of them. Do you start alternating and see which guy can get hot, or do you try and stick with Jake Dolegala, see if he can continue to figure it out? I mean,
you couldn't have 2 more opposite quarterbacks. That's what really, that's what makes it most interesting for me. These 2 guys are exact opposites in Ford and Dolegala.
And Dolegala's got such a big arm. I mean, I think he'll settle in, and that accuracy issue that he had tonight is going to be fixed. But listen, you mentioned it. They've got to generate some drives and some offense and put some majors on the board. Their defense kept them hanging around for most of this game.
Points off turnovers, the difference in this one. Here's Ford out of the pocket, on the run, looking for a block. And he's forced out of bounds, and that will do it. It's a romp in Regina as the Riders roll 38-7 the final.
Scott Milanovich has got some work to do. He's got some decisions to make, and he's going to have a lot of questions with regards to his quarterback situation since Bo Levi Mitchell has gone down. Got to generate some points. See if Hamilton can do it against Toronto next week.
Riders improved to 4-1 on the season with a convincing victory over the Ticats, who will have some decisions to make as they prepare for their next game against Toronto. Trevor Harris, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns. A.J. Ouellette was back, had 83 yards. Schaefer Baker, Amalis Johnson, all contributing. And they get 27 points off turnovers to lead to a comfortable 31-point victory over the Ticats. That'll do it for Week 6 in the CFL. We'll send it to SportsCenter with Laura Dykin and Jermaine Franklin. Good night from Regina.